Okay, guys, today I'll talk to you about how the realities may choose to really intersect. And here is how these realities can connect to each other. Like I did tell you in my um last video that the realities can never be intersect, they can never interact with each other, but I realized there's only one way to do it, and that is to do it through the shadow of the reality. Not the reality itself, but its shadow. Look here, guys. There's a very faint, you probably can't see it, but as, okay, wait, wait, okay, you probably can't see it, but this, oh, come on, this has a shadow, a faint shadow of this reality, if I put them close together. So that one will, that one will produce a faint shadow to this reality. So you see here, I don't know if you can see it, but the shadow is really faint. And sometimes, don't confuse it with a reflection, but just make sure that it can be just a shadow, other than a reflection, because sometimes they look really similar together. Or this shadow, this can produce a shadow to this reality. So look here, now this one's producing a shadow. And basically, that person who lived in this reality, this shadow is producing from there, or that person, this shadow is producing a shadow to this one. So the shadows touch each other and touch the reality. And that person who lived in the Dorian, me, who lived in that reality, would say I currently am in this reality, an alternate version of me is there. I here would just see in my room, like think of it in my room, like see a faint shadow projected here from this one. From this one produced a faint shadow here, for example. I would just see a thin, like a shadow in the room, and then go a little bit darker and go out, disappear again, like nowhere. Same will happen if I was in this reality. I'll see a faint shadow coming. No, like think of the room, and again a little bit darker, like a shadow somehow, and me not paying attention to it or anything like that. Me not paying any little attention to the shadow, not even caring about what's the source of the shadow, because there must be light in an object there, and me thinking that it's probably something, and even though I wouldn't pay attention to it because there's so many things around here that it could be a shadow of something. So I wouldn't pay attention to it, but I would not really realize that it would just be from another reality. You see, it intersects. Okay, so you see, it's like a faint. So it's a faint shadow going a little bit darker. It can be dark, like faint dark, and going out again. Sometimes I may even see like objects, something like that, like anything like that. But that's really what could happen, like objects or anything. But you see here, objects or like see how they collide. You see, like think of objects. So you see, the shadows can interact to the other shadow. Then that's the only way. Literally, the only way that alternate realities can interact with each other, whilst being different realities and literally alternate but the same. You see what I mean? Like I said, they can never interact because they are the reality. Like this one is this one, and let's get a third one for example. Yeah, look at that. This one can produce on. Okay, this one. Think of look at this reality. This reality can produce to this one, and to this one maybe. So this one, and this one, and this one. So this reality, for example, is in a way so it produces shadow on both of them. Depending on which one you are, you would either see a faint half a shadow and faint half a shadow in your room, like not all your room dark, but like one side, and then if another reality, the other side, or even the same, doesn't matter, but you will still see like half, like the room getting a little bit darker, or in fact, like less darkness, depending on how it is. In fact, you may even be able to interact with. Okay, so you see, yeah, make it darker. But if I was to be there, because you make it a bit dark, but you see that's the only way they interact into the shadow method through the shadows. So basically, you can't see me or a faintness of me because I am in the reality. allowing that you to see the reality itself. There is absolutely no way you can actually do it in actual intersection. It just does not make sense. Think of it like you're looking at that way and trying to see yourself whilst being yourself. It's something like that, completely like that. Think of it like three of you. You're trying to see yourself whilst being yourself, whilst being yourself. It's like three versions of you, and you're trying to see yourself whilst being yourself, and nothing like it's just staring forward and expecting, for example, see yourself as another extra being, for example. It's like that. It's like basically, it's like, look at this. Imagine there's me in these three realities, for example. Like I did tell you, they can intersect with shadows, didn't I? But imagine there's a me in these three realities, and say the actual me is in this reality. These are just alternate versions of me. But think of it at the beginning, at the alternate version of me. Think of them that I am them. No, think of it as just one. So think of this reality as just one, okay? So I'm in this reality, I'm this reality, but think of it like that. So now I am, this is just one. Instead of three realities, it's one reality. And there's one Dorian. But I split my brain, for example, into three and created these Dorians as their own separate versions. Like I split my, say for example, I split my, say, mind into, say I split my mind into like three, and as I am, this is like, say for example, one Dorian, I split them and create them into like separate versions of themselves. Do you see what I mean? Like, I split and create Dorians as like separate versions of themselves. And now, because I'm connected to them still and still am them, I have unawareness of what they're doing or what they're up to. So do you kind of see? Do you see right there? Do you see what I'm talking about? And as the different realities, the only way to intersect is of course through its shadows. Means that if I see a shadow, that means that the splitness was successful. If I see the shadows, it's just mean I could be in this reality, or I can be in this reality, but I can never be in both realities at the same time. It doesn't make sense because it's like seeing two completely. It's like living completely two different realities. Like right now, I'm here making a video. In the other reality, I'm here laying on my bed and just, or basically in other reality. In the third one, I'm on my computer using Unreal Engine 4. Which all the realities are good actually, but think of them as being one reality, and I just split them as separate beings. It's like that. It's like that really. So I hope that you enjoyed, and talked about the only way to intersect is shadows, and it's like darker shadows, light shadows. It's really just a shadow, and that's the only way the realities can intersect each other. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay.